Welcome to the Top 200 podcast with your host, Herschel Fawn.
What's up, everybody? This is Herschel Fawn from High School Top 200, and I want to welcome everyone back to the Monday morning meeting podcast. Thank you again for coming back and having a listen, and want to hang out and sort of chat about a bit of first thing around New Zealand. This is really the only platform that you can get it from, so I don't know where else you're going to go for your information, but this is kind of where it all comes from and where everybody sort of bites a little bit at it and you know, it takes it apart, all that kind of stuff, which is fine. I love it. I just love it when people talk about first 15 rugby. Like and subscribe to the page, notifications, turn on all that kind of stuff, even with the Instagram and Facebook page. Make sure you like those. I've got some TikToks going on. I can't keep up with all of them. But I try anyway. But like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And then jump onto hstop200.com, sign up and have a look at all the rankings and all the other write-ups and stuff that I do. I always give my thoughts or some previews to games and things like that. So if you want to jump onto that, save yourself a coffee for the day. $5 to sign up, and then you just get all the content and that kind of stuff that comes along with it. But yeah, follow on all my platforms, and yeah, just send me your guys' views, your guys' opinions, things like that as well. I'm always up for discussion and debate and all that other kind of stuff that that I do on this platform. Remember that it's all opinion based. I always give my opinions on stuff, and hopefully people go out and then you know, challenge my opinion by seeing all the players, because that's ultimately what I want to do is make sure that people get to see games, have some context, and then come back and tell me I'm right or come back and tell me I'm wrong. But it's been a pretty packed week this week for games. I couldn't get down to New Plymouth even though I wanted to. It was just rained too bad that I thought, I don't know. Because, you know, I always finish here at 5 a.m. in the morning, so I always kind of get a couple of hours rest and then shoot off for games depending on where I'm going. So I don't want to risk that one. You know, I don't want to risk that one. But I got to see it because they live streamed the game, which is great, and which they should do for all these games. And so, like, even like the New Plymouth boys won against Francis Douglas, which is always a massive game. Southland Otago, which was like another good game this week. And the reasons why I think and why I'm always gutted at the fact that we have so much good rugby on around the country, but we just miss it. You know, we miss it because no one else wants to put in sort of the effort to try and live stream or, you know, to help, I guess, the kids expose their talent to the rest of the world. And, you know, people think that, you know, like, if the kid's going to get spotted in New Zealand, he's going to get spotted, like, they're going to find him. It's not necessarily true at all. It's not necessarily true. And what I'm talking about is not about getting scouted here. I don't actually know if people understand when I'm talking about finding opportunities. I'm not talking about just New Zealand. I'm not talking about, oh, he needs an opportunity and then I'm going to hope and make sure that he gets seen so that someone in New Zealand sees him. I'm not talking about that at all. Actually, like, New Zealand's like a small part of what this is. Like I've always said, and I continue to say, and it's still the same thing today from when I first started, I'm all about the kid first. I'm all about the kid and the parents. I couldn't care less about New Zealand rugby and what they're doing. And even though I do like some of the stuff that they do, and they are getting a bad rep for a lot of things that they're doing, and it's like warranted, I think. But they don't do everything bad, but the ones that I do think are bad is that they don't promote first 15 rugby and first 15 players. You may want to argue, but then with me and say, well, look at what they're doing. I was like, well, you show me where they're doing that, where they're promoting. And I'm saying proper promotion of first 15 rugby. I'm not saying giving money or anything like that, because that's not really promotion. They're not really promoting it, because they need the product. The product is the kids. My promotion and what I'm talking about promoting and giving guys opportunities to me is like, I'm talking about kids being seen all over the world, and the opportunities coming from all over the world. not just restricted to New Zealand. We don't have enough spaces. I don't understand what people think that like, oh, they're going to get spotted. I was like, where do you think all these players are going? We got too many good, and like here's my other argument is that there's too many good players stuck in club rugby that should be professional somewhere else, but they want to stay here in New Zealand. You know, they want to stay here. They want to be a Hurricane. They want to be a Chiefs. They want to be an All Blacks. Some people just are not. And I mean, it's up to them whether they want to choose that or not. But at the end of their time playing pro sports, I hope that it's not like a regret that they go, I wish I just took the offers that I got every single year to go overseas, to play in Italy, to play in Spain, to play in Germany, to play in America, to play in England or Japan. Or, you know, I hope that they don't regret it at the end of the day, because they're trying to stay and wait for the opportunity here. When it comes to like not taking opportunities and regretting not taking opportunities, I'm 100% in that boat of I regret not taking my opportunities. And the worst is that it was something that I worked for. And I know that there's a lot of players out there too right now that are going, oh yeah, I've worked for my opportunity too. I was going, okay, but then what is your idea of an opportunity? Because if someone comes and offers you a scholarship to a Japanese university and play rugby, and then with a step into going into professional, if you don't see that as an opportunity, then I'm not too sure what you mean about opportunities. Because like I feel like those ones that offer scholarships and contracts at the same time, which Japan do a lot of, and you're not taking them, you're missing out on an opportunity to play professional rugby. France do a really good one of that too, with second division, as well as like offering education at the same time. And like, yeah, go over learn some French and Japanese, like. And as players, and I'm just letting some of you guys, younger guys, know that if you're going to go over there, you have to speak Japanese and French. You're not like speaking English unless you're hanging out with all the other Kiwis, South Africans, and Australians and English people that are there. But over there in those countries, that they want you to speak their language, which is 100% do that. You have to. You know, and it's like, why shouldn't you? But in terms of opportunities to play rugby and professional rugby and earn money and to give back to your parents, which a lot of Islanders and Māoris want to do, is that they want to make it somebody so they can actually give something back to their parents instead of, to me it's just like, those are the opportunities, don't give them away. Don't get to the end of your career when the offers stop coming and go, damn, I wish I took that one in Italy. Massive ones, but that's where I feel like there's I wish there was more live streamed games that I can stream on. Like I mean, I've told a lot of you guys here that are on my page all the time and on my other pages, but I get so much overseas contact from universities and clubs just asking about players that they've seen on my platforms. And this is where I wish that they had more YouTube stuff. That's why I think that Māori TV, when they were doing when they do the Super Rugby, when they do the Super 8 is important, because a lot of those boys get seen. And I don't think people understand how much everyone else around the world want to see what we're doing for our rugby at any kind of level. But at first thing, they love it, because then they go, oh, okay, that's an opportunity. We can go and reach out and grab this kid and bring him over here and see what he can do. But I feel like the more games you put out and put up on YouTube and free platforms that everyone can get to, the more you're going to help out your team. And it's funny too, because I look at people's Facebook pages all the time and their Instagram pages all the time, and I always look for content. I share as much as I can on my platform of everybody else's school's platforms, just so that in hopes that the people that always contact me, they get to see that stuff. So whenever I like fielding, have a solid, they have a solid presence online. Pukekohe also has a really good one that I like, because they take photos. Like, all these guys take photos, they have names, you know, they sometimes give a little detail on like what year they're in or age or all that kind of stuff. Wellington do a really good one on that. New Plymouth, Napier boys used to be good at it, not really that much. Palmy do a really good job. Christchurch boys do a really good job of making sure that their players are seen and that the games are heard about, or you know, giving them a lot of visuals and all that kind of stuff. Kelston boys do great on that kind of stuff, and I don't think people understand how much boys from Kelston get opportunities in the NRL and also in rugby over in Japan as well. And like, I don't think people understand about how blessed a lot of these families are from Kelston boys, where they've taken these opportunities and it's really worked out for them. You know, so like I like all these kind of pages that do a great job. Even St. Brendan's actually do a really good job on their Facebook page. St. Thomas do really good. I like that too. And I like the fact, and I hope St. Thomas do more of this, is that I hope that they profile a lot of players, even though they're the top right now in league, and the attention is going to come their way. I hope they profile it more specific to players so that those players get picked up. And like, I think every team should be doing this, but because they're like more of a league team, like if you look at St. Paul's College in Auckland, they've got a really good page where you can go on and then you can see players, you can see highlights and stuff like that. But in terms of advice, and in terms of advice for everyone on their media pages and that, is put guys' names, as well as if you can get a handle on theirs, put a handle on it so that people know where to go and how to contact them, or to contact them to contact their parents. And because I know that there's agents and stuff that contact kids, but the agents that I deal with contact kids and go, this is my parents, this is you know, my email, my phone number, can you give it to your parents so that we can talk to them about you? And you know, like, the more information that you can give about kids, the more that other people can know about it. And you know, I think, and this is where, like, for me myself too, like, I am just an opinion guy, and I'm not the one that makes the decisions. I'm just the one that will point you in the direction to say, check out this guy, check out this guy, check out this guy. Just because someone from New Zealand doesn't like you doesn't mean you're not a good player. It just means that teams in New Zealand don't need you in that position, or they'll fill up on that position. But it doesn't mean someone in Japan doesn't need it. Doesn't mean someone in America doesn't need it. Look at how many Kiwis there are that are in America playing in their league over there, and it's getting bigger and bigger because a lot of South Africans are going there, a lot of Australians are going there, a lot of us Kiwis are going there, and we should actually flood those guys with our players. Go have a stint in the States for like 3 years. Go check it out over there for 3 years, for like 6 months at a time. Come back. Make sure you put in your contract that you get a trip back to New Zealand, all paid for, all that kind of stuff. Make sure your agents do that kind of thing. But then go over there, experience different stuff, and then come back and still try and make your dream or whatever. But take these opportunities. We need more opportunities, and the way by doing that is that we've got to show what we can do. That's why I've always kind of pushed this, but I wish more schools would get more of their media classes to participate in not just like rugby, but even like the sports as a whole. It's like, if they want to be in media, and if they want to be in content creating, if they want to be in you know, if they want to be visual artists, like, you know, like graphics design, and you know, putting that all into some kind of project is just like, I don't understand why schools can't get into those kids and go, hey, would you want to follow around the first 15 for the year? And you come on all the trips that we go on, and you just do all the visuals for us. You guys run our social media pages. Make sure that these are the teams, these are the pictures, the players. Put names on it. Do all your graphics, and let them stylistically take over those pages and let them just do what they do. Don't direct them on how to do it. Just go, this is our team list. Here, put your visuals on it. Put all your spins, your designs, your style, your ideas into it, and let them be creative. I mean, because they're the creative ones. You're just a rugby coach, or you're just a rugby manager. Like, let them be creative. I don't actually know why. I understand why more first 15 rugby coaches and managers don't reach out to the kids and ask them for the help and give them that chance to interview the other players. Do all that kind of stuff that they want to do. I like Christchurch boys when they put on their. When they do the Christ College and Christchurch boys, and I wish that those kids would do more, put on more games. I wish they would do more games, because I really enjoy it. I think that it's good for them to use their talents in that way, and let the kids just be creative and use them, use their talents that they have. I've always kind of wondered that. I mean, I know it's not resources, because I know that schools have that stuff. But I mean, I don't know what it is, but I feel like if you give them more of an opportunity and get their advice, and I don't know, maybe some coaches need to be more humble and reach out to the kids and go, hey, we need your help. I don't know if people are too scared to ask kids for help, or like just give their opinions or whatever. I don't know, but all these kids need opportunities, and I think most kids just want opportunities. But yeah, I was watching one of the games. I went to St. Paul's and Rathkill, but I only stayed for half, because I had some family stuff that I had to leave at half time. But I've heard this stuff at other games, and like I have talked about it before. But parents, man, you guys got to stay out of giving your kids instructions on the field while they're playing. Like, you've got to stay out of it. Coaches have a game plan. If you put your kid in that position to go, oh, my dad's telling me to do this, or my mum said I've got to do this, or my coach wants me over here, but they keep, like, you're putting your son in a weird position where he has to decide. Who he's going to choose, but at the same time, he's in a lose-lose situation. The worst thing is that he's going to listen to you as a parent, but then get put on the bench. Or listen to you as a parent and then get yelled at by the rest of his teammates because he's going off script. He's going to listen to you as a parent and then lose time on the field because in the coach's eyes, he's not following instructions. He's not following the game plan. It's not an I game plan. It's a we game plan. We win as a team. We win as a crest on your chest, not you number whatever. And like I've heard, I've heard tackle hard, like hit hard, run it straight, like, or like, run harder, or things like that. That's fine, because I mean that's like real general. But when I've heard parents give them was just like, hey, just run it off the back of the scrum, it's like maybe he's not supposed to. Maybe he's not supposed to. Things like that is like, oh, kick it downfield. It's like maybe they're not supposed to kick it downfield. Like I feel like cheering for your son's enough. But don't give him direction on the field if it's not in the game plan. And like if you think you know better, then you take over the coaching. You put your hand up and ask who you can coach. And if you're like, well, I'm too busy, it's like, then be quiet, man. Just cheer for your son, and then let him deal with it when he goes to training and asks the coach, how come we're not doing it like this? How come we're not doing it like that? But don't put them in a bad position on the field, live game time on the field, and going, oh man, who would I listen to because my dad keeps telling me this? It's like, you're going to get him hated. You're going to get him hated by his teammates. You're going to get him looked at as someone that doesn't want to be a team player when that's not entirely true. It's just like they don't want to disappoint you as the parent. And I think it's sad, I think it's sad. And like, I know it's like, my daughter talked to me the other day because like, we went to basketball. My daughter's only 9. My daughter's only 9. It's like, I'm too hard out into basketball to take her and to do one-on-one. And so I know I'm that hard out. So I don't really take her at one-on-ones. And we don't train one-on-one or anything like that. I just cheer for her. One game, I switched into basketball's my favorite sport ever because that's what it is. And at the end of the game, she goes, why did you yell at me like that? I said, I yell at you like that all the time. And she goes, no, but the way that you were saying it to me, you were like hurting my feelings. I go, well, harden up. This is a basketball game. She goes, oh, well, can you just not yell like that anymore? And I go, well, what do you mean? And she goes, well, the way that you were saying it like you were angry at me. And I was going, I'm telling you what to do. She goes, yeah, but you look like you were angry at me. And I was like, no, that's not what it is. Now, whatever my feeling was, or whatever I was doing, it was like, yeah, I was in the wrong because I did get in my feelings. Like, in my mind, I'm saying, why am I coming to this? It's a waste of time. It's only under 9, or like under 10s or whatever. I was like, the rebound's there, just grab the rebound, box her out. Make a cut, screen, do something. Instead of forgetting that it's just like, it's not my sport, you're the one playing, I'm just here to be supportive. So when she spoke to me, I just be supportive. That's what I do. Even though in that one game, I decided to be Herschel, the one that loves basketball, it didn't make my daughter feel any better. No, I don't care what people are saying, well, she should harden up. It's like, yeah, I think she should too. But that's not the point. Because she's the one on the court. She's the one that's playing. If she starts having a moan and getting an attitude, she's not going to play any better. I'm the one that controls that situation because she's the one that looks at me for the support. Just be the support. Don't let your sons get out there and be frustrated because you're saying they're not, running together. That you think they should be doing, and the coaches are saying don't do that. I think there's a lot of we have a lot of responsibility as parents to make it as easy as possible for our sons and our kids to be more comfortable in the sport that they love. We can't add into the fact that I wake up every morning to wake you up, that I buy the food that you want me to buy, and I want to say, because then that's not a father wanting to help out or a mother that's wanting to help out. That's you saying, where's my payback for this? And I mean, if you're doing that for the payback, it's just like, oof, I don't know. Maybe that's a different conversation or different discussion altogether. It's just like, if you're only doing this for a payback from your sons or your daughters, I'm not just talking about rugby, I'm just talking about rugby in this sense because that's what I do. But I mean, if your daughter's a hockey player or your son plays, soccer, or you're a volleyball player or a rower or whatever. It's just like, or swimmers, because I know swimmers just swim in the morning. They put a lot of hours in that pool. And most parents sit in the car and wait from 4:30 in the morning till they finish at 8 o'clock or whatever it is, or 7:30. But that's like stuff that I've noticed. So like, I don't know, I think some of us as parents need to think more about the position we're putting our sons in and our kids in when we make it about us and we make it about us being heard instead of really looking at the situation. I just thought we got to do better at it. That's what I reckon anyway. When I was looking at this, because I was running through the games, like, because with New Plymouth boys, like, and I watched the game too. Like, and you go and watch the game. Taranaki filmed this one and they put it online. So if you go to their YouTube page, if you go to the YouTube page for Taranaki Rugby, Community Rugby, I think it's called. They've got the game on there. It was like a messy game based on the fact that like it was just so rainy and slippery and all that kind of stuff. That it just wasn't a clean looking game. It wasn't a pretty game to watch at all. But there was stuff to take out of it in terms of as individuals, I thought that individually there were players that did great. But I think overall, when you look at a game like that New Plymouth and Francis Douglas one, there is like in Taranaki there's like a step down, and I don't know what it is, because Taranaki's been really good at rugby since I've started, and you can point out all the stars that have come out of it or whatever. But as a whole, I actually think Taranaki should be doing better. And I feel like as a whole it's dropping. And like if you watch that game, and how I always watch games, I always watch them in the sort of the mindset of like, how many of these guys are going to make the under 18s Chiefs? Because ultimately that's kind of what I'm trying to get guys' names out there, but then put them in a bracket of where they belong nationally. Now in my mind, when I watch that game, only two of them, maybe two players out of the two teams, or three players, I would say three players, who are year 13, belong in that under 18 Chiefs frame. And I mean, like, you could say that about Southland boys too, but I mean, like, Southland boys is always going to be in that same bracket of a smaller town, a smaller city that have, one big school, and most of the kids go there if you're a good rugby player, just so that you can go outside of Southland to play, or Invercargill to play. But I felt that they should be doing better. And I feel like the talent is dropping off a little bit. The superstars are superstars, but that next level down, I felt like it was like a bit of a drop off. And I don't know, and like in most smaller places are like this, but I don't know if it's like a Taranaki thing. Because I kind of look at New Plymouth and Hastings and Napier all kind of the same level. Whereas the level of rugby in Hastings and Napier for first 15 are pretty high at those schools. Then you still got Lindisfarne. Yes, they have like, you know, like borders there, and so do those other schools. But as a whole, I think that the Hawke's Bay rugby is just a little bit higher. And from the past of which I've seen in terms of Taranaki rugby, they've always had these highly skilled players all the time. They've always had them, and there was always quite a bunch of them in Francis Douglas and in New Plymouth Boys. And then you'll have like a bit from Harvard and that as well come through. Like Inglewood will always have like maybe one guy who was like that, but then I feel like in a little bit it's kind of slipping off. I don't know what that's to, but I just watched that game and I thought, I know who the young guys are, but when I look it up year by year, it doesn't look like it's getting any better, or it's like lifting up. And I'm not too sure what that is. But I know that other areas are doing better. Now, I mean, you can chuck in Wellington, like Taranaki, you go, well, have a look at Wellington. So yeah, I agree with you. Wellington to me is in a worse position, but I think Taranaki's slipping on that side. And I don't know whether it's like a union thing in terms of Taranaki where they need to do more with the players, or they need to lift that standard of game for those players as well, where you can get more out of them. And I understand that guys that, you know, the cream of the crop for those fellas get pushed out and get taken into, you know, they probably get brought here to Hamilton to, play in the Chiefs and then play some kind of rugby with them. But I mean, like, even them, I think they're like, there's just something not right in Taranaki. And to me, I just felt like it's slipping a bit. And I don't know what it is, but it's a good game. Like, I watched it, it was a good game. I still liked what I saw. And New Plymouth, with the young team that they have, with a real inexperienced forward pack that tries. I think they're going to be okay in maybe like 2 years. Next year this year they're definitely going to be learning. Next year's, I mean, Riley wasn't playing on Wednesday, and he played for the seconds because he's just coming back from injury. So, I mean, that was fine. But I mean, Liam and them, they all kind of did their thing. You know, sparked up with the word Jack as well, Braden as well as the other. But like, yeah, just as a whole, I just wasn't kind of convinced that at the talent level that they were at. Now Southland, I thought that, like, if you don't know about the game, Southland scored 4 tries in a row. I think they scored 3 in the first half, 1 right at the beginning of the second half, and like, you would think that they've won the game. That's kind of what it is. But then Otago came back and just scored all the rest of the points and won it at the end. And here's the thing: is like, you may say they may be a bit tired from Japan. To me, it didn't look like it. It didn't look like it. And Southland probably should have blown them out. But all that stuff that they did in the first half, like, Otago came through straight off the kick and just pressed. And that's why I thought, oh shoot, they're looking like they're going to score straight away. If that was to happen, I would look at it and go, yes, Southland must be a bit tired, and you're getting, but it wasn't, because they went all the way to the try line. Southland got a turnover, kicked it down, they sort of made their way down there and then scored, and then it kind of worked like that sort of the whole time. the scrums I thought were a bit messy for both teams, and I thought the ref had a really good game in terms of how he reffed the game, but I wish he sort of took more control over that scrum, and give them that time in the first two scrums to sort of get it right, but then maybe take control over that after and just go, hey, either one and just like tap and go or something like that, or just give a penalty, because there was too many times where like both teams were so unsettled in the scrum, and it was never ever fixed towards the end of the game at all. But Southland boys were scoring on that left side the whole time in that first half, and it was funny to watch because like Southland weren't doing anything different. I just think Otago weren't really picking up on how they were doing it, and there was nothing more than just playing up the middle and then spreading it wide, and they just used space and quickness of the ball. That's all it really was. And guys were kind of just like switching angles just a little bit at a time when they were getting the ball out, and just having the defense sort of pause just a little bit, and then they were just running these gaps. And Southland were just doing such a good job at it. And then even after like half time, Otago came back again. I think Mac, I think it was. He was the one that kicked it, and this was right after the second half. I think he kicked it down, and he got 50-22 or 22-50 or whatever you call it, a 50-22, and yeah, Mac Wrigley was the one that got him down there into the 22, and I thought that was the opportunity to score. Went through a few phases, then Otago came back. Then straight after that, they made their run straight away. There was like Southland, I think Noah and Michael were just too fast at 9 and 10 for Southland. And then the guy on the wing, and I forgot what his name is. He was just running these great lines and getting them to push outside, but they just couldn't bring him down. And then Thomas Payne, who's the number 8, he was the other one who I wasn't too sure if he was like going to be a solid number 8, but I thought that he played really, really well. Both number 8s played really, really, really well as well. Like Sione Takataka in the second half had a better second half than he did first half, because I think that Michael Mika, one of those two, Puni, the number 6, I thought he had a massive game for Otago. Defensive wise, just maybe don't try and have a fight, but defensively they were great. But Sione Takataka in the second half was the one where he had like a bigger second half that helped them bring him back. But Manaya Lesa, him and Tavita Latu were probably, to me, along with Mac Wrigley in the backline, were the ones that sort of sparked that up for that backline for Otago, and then all their tries. And when they scored tries, when Otago scored tries, it came pretty easy. It wasn't like they were like hard fought ones. They were more like they were more like 7 phases of everybody on the same page, and then they scored at the end of that. And it was real rhythm type kind of plays, and from ruck to ruck kind of thing. And so it's more of like trying to get that expanded to where you can play 3 minutes at a time, 4 minutes at a time with that kind of flow. And that's where I kind of think that Otago, started scoring there and started making their tries, scoring their tries and making their comeback. But like Kane Danes, I think he's their captain. He had a massive game in the forwards. Like him and Sione Takataka Mika, Puni was the other one, and then Ruben McGregor, who's the big prop. I think him and the other prop from Southland, what's his name? The red, I think he's a redhead fella, the Thomas Jennings fella. I thought those guys had massive games. I thought those guys were the ones that had really good games, and so that's a game that I wish that they had live. They had live, and they were live streaming as well, because it was just a massive game. It was such a good game to watch, and there was so much talent on the field that every position, and I don't think anyone had a bad game. I wouldn't say that anyone had a bad game. There wasn't a guy that just made crucial whatever mistakes. There was just everyone just had really good games and played a lot of team rugby, which I thought was great team from both teams. And I think that it's going to be one of those kind of situations where, because remember last year Southland lost 2 times to Otago throughout the year, and then on the third one when it mattered and going into nationals, they ended up winning. And so I hope that's not one of those things that happens this year too, because it's it's going to be great if it is, but for Southland, because that's just what they want. But for Otago, it's not. Because I guarantee last year Otago will tell you, "No, we're a better team than them," and there's no real argument about it. They have a great argument, but then at the end it's well, they are the national championships now. The national champions now. That kind of thing. But I thought that was one of the better games that this week, and I thought that those are the kind of games that we deserve. Those are the kind of games that you want. I thought, when I was looking at all the scores, they had some massive games this week. The games I wish I saw, St. Peter's and Kelston, I wish I saw that game. If someone can send me the game, please let me see that game. 22-19 to St. Peter's over Kelston. I was choosing Kelston, and I thought the score would be the other way around. I didn't think it was going to be a blowout. I didn't think Kelston was going to run over them or anything like that, because St. Peter's is a good side. But I thought St. Peter's would, I thought Kelston boys would get the win on this one. But that game, I wish I could see. The Sacred Heart Auckland Grammar, which was 27-20 to Grammar, I wish I could see that game too, because having games that close with those, with a lot on the line, that's what you want to kind of see. I mean, Nelson beating Christchurch boys 30-19. You want to, you can see it if you want to see if you want to be mean about it. I just want to see them smash, Christchurch boys. I have thoughts like that too, because I'm not a fan of Hamilton boys or St. Paul's at all. And that's just residue from my feelings when I was at school. That's just one of the things they hate. But in terms of good games, you would want to see ones like that. The other one was De La Salle and King's College, a 31-28, and another one that you would think that De La Salle was a stronger team on the day. Because I think people got to watch out for King's College, because next year, and I'm going to call this early, but King's College look like they're going to be the number one team in the country next year. They're going to make their mistakes this year. Think about last year, right? Everyone knew that follow my page that they were full of year 11s and year 12s. They had no real leadership, all that kind of stuff. And you knew that they were young. They lost a lot of games that you thought that they would win. And as a first 15 outsider, you would think that, you know, King's College was a terrible program, rugby program. But they don't. They just had young guys. This year, these young guys are now in their second year. They've learned a bunch, and it looks like they're starting to get it. Next year, all they have to do is control their ego, and I think that they're going to be the number one team in the country. And I think they're going to be, they're massively in the running for, you know, New Zealand's, you know, national championships in New Zealand. Just the roster that they have. And it's interesting because if you go and watch King's College this year, watch their players, just know that most of that team that you're watching are year 12s and a bunch of year 11s that are backing up, and then they've got a few seniors that really put that and glue that team together. And so just know that when you're watching it, go, okay, yeah, they're good, they may win or lose a few games here and there, but you're watching for the future for next year. That's kind of how I saw it. There's like another team as well, is like that I've kind of been paying attention to with Mahurangi College up in North Harbour, and they're a team that I've kind of seen because I like going to the rugby on the beach is a competition that they're smaller colleges, the smaller high schools, but they've got really good rugby, and that obviously it's just a pretty place to go to when you go to Papamore on Bay of Plenty and Tauranga. But if you're a smaller team, try and get to this competition. It's really, really good. I think they're putting out the registrations and stuff soon, but Mahurangi College have run it 2 years in a row now. They have not a big pack, but they're pretty controlled. They're pretty they know exactly what they need to do, and it's like they don't lie to themselves about how small they are, but they get technique right, and they stay hard on their defense, and they kind of never let go on that defensive side of it, because they know that they don't have like that strike force that most other teams have, but they will set it on their defense, and they'll tackle all day, and they tackle in bunches, which is great. I like that kind of stuff, you know. But Mahurangi, like from last year, that they weren't even in the first division; they were actually in the second division. Coming to the first division, they beat Orewa, and they have this thing called shield, like Murray Jones or something like that. A shield that they have with Otago College. And Otago, I mean, remember, Otago had a New Zealand secondary school player just 2 years ago. Otago has now fallen to the second division. Mahurangi Bay beat them quite convincingly in the preseason, got their shield, and some of those players that they have in that side, I mean, they've just lost by 1 point to Whangarei, 22-21. Last week they just lost to Rangitoto, and Rangitoto's got a really good squad this year, and they beat Takapuna Grammar School, which is massive for that school as well, for Mahurangi College. Now, like this, I'm talking about them because I think that they should be a team to watch and just to sort of pay attention to, and I mean, because to me, when you watch them, it all comes from, like, I think Thomas Durbin, what's his last name? Thomas Durbin something. It's like hyphenated. Hold on, let me look it up because I don't want to. Oh no, it's Durbin Burgess. Let me look it up. Hold on. But like this guy Thomas Durbin Burgess, I think. Yeah, his name's Durbin Burgess. At fullback, to me, what he does is that he sees openings and he exposes defenders by, I guess, running lines to get them off their spot. He'll run not just to run or make the gap, but he just wants them to. He runs like he just wants them just to shift a little bit, and then he's great at linking up with the other guys around him. And I think the good thing about this Mahurangi College team is that, along with Thomas, they have Lucas Membry, who's like their midfield of Lucas Membry and is it Ayu Lanyon, I think his name is, or Lanyon, something like that. Those two are at 12 and 13. Then you got Maz Blackler as well at first 5, who I think does a great job at supporting what Thomas does. Because Thomas Durbin Burgess, to me, is the one that creates everything for them, and he runs for purpose of making sure that the team gets into it. Like, he's not a one-on-one player. He could be a one-on-one player, and if he just wanted to be greedy, he could just do that if he wanted to. But he doesn't play that way. Then they've got like Harrison Mann at open side, and then they have Daniel McFarlane at prop. And those two guys are probably the main ones. Harrison Mann and Daniel McFarlane are probably the two main guys in that forward pack, and that like sort of keep that forward pack tight, and they just play hard up defense every time that ball is passed in. They make great tackles. They don't try and put on hits or anything like that. They just make good, solid tackles. And Daniel McFarlane is not even that big. I don't think he's as big as, like, I've seen him 2 years now, and I think that he's not as big, but he's just one of those guys that sort of puts everything into it, and he'll just outwork you. I think that's like one of his kind of things. And then Harrison Mann at open side is probably another guy to watch as well if you're up those ways and you get a chance to watch him. Obviously, don't try and watch Mahurangi College when they're playing someone like Westlake Boys, because that's another step. Anybody else in that competition, go and watch them. Like them and Rosmini would be a good game, because I know Rosmini is a really good team that could push these guys, and then you would see, you know, what they can do. But for them just to lose tight games against Whangarei and Rangitoto, Massey might be another good one you want to go see them if they play them. But I think those are one of the teams that you should probably watch out for. But yeah, there was one of the games that was like one of those tight games as well. St. Bede's and St. Andrews, one of those tight games. Palmy and Silverstream was one of those games as well that I wish that they had them on. Man, I get so annoyed that they're not online, because for me, I want to watch all the games. I want to watch all of them. I want to watch as many games as I can. But I just do what I can. I watch what I can. The other team that I think everyone should watch out for is Liston College. Liston College is getting there. I saw one of their preseason. I saw the first game that they had last week, and I was just thinking, man, this team is way different. And whatever they're doing, however they're preparing these guys, younger guys coming through, they're just doing a great job. They're doing a great job, and like they were at that same position that St. Paul's kind of was in, where they were trying to get these St. Paul's league guys to sort of think a little bit rugby, and it just takes them a little bit longer. I mean, Botany Downs is kind of in that same position right now, where Botany Downs has just moved up to the 1A. They're going to get smashed a bunch of times, but it's not about that. It's about preparing these other guys who are younger, who are coming back, to realize what the step up is, and to let everybody else know the next year, hey, this is the level that we're playing at, and they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Avondale Waitaka, there was probably a local battle that would be a pretty good one to go and see. They finished 17 all. Taranaki and Howick have had like a really good rivalry over the past 3-4 years or so, and Taranaki won that one. Tuakau as a team that I want to see more of. Pukekohe High School is another one as well that I think should probably get a lot more attention. I'm gutted that they're not down here for the Waikato competition, but I do understand like that travel is a lot, and it's a lot of sacrifice money wise for a school to come up with that kind of stuff to travel. But Papakura and Waiuku also drew 17 all. Matamata 95 points over St. Peter's School Cambridge, second 15. 95-0 means Matamata's a lot better than and should be playing a lot more first teams. This is kind of like where I wish that those good smaller school teams like Pukekohe, like Matamata, kind of like Cambridge. I mean, Taupo Nuiatea is one that you chuck in there as well. They had a good win over Papamoa. Papamoa and Mount Maunganui College are kind of in the same bracket of schools that are good but they're just smaller, but they just need better teams to play against. Now, yeah, you could say that, well, they play Rotorua boys second 15 and Tauranga boys second 15, and they get run over. But at the same time, you're talking about boys schools. These guys are just smaller schools that need more competition that way. Not like, because I'm always like, I'm not a fan of first 15s playing second 15s. I'm really not. I mean, it's worse when under 15s play first 15s, and then it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's demoralizing. But I don't want to say, I don't want to make these kids feel like that's not good. But I mean, if I was a coach, I would get with other high schools and go, look, we just can't have our teams playing against second 15s. Let's just all play against first 15s. So you can say at the end of the day that you won against first 15s, that you play against first 15s. I mean, yeah, that's just my thought on it. Te Awamutu and Tokoroa High School, Te Awamutu 155-26. Whanganui Collegiate and the St. Peter's School Cambridge 41-24 to St. Peter's Cambridge. I didn't think that would be the score. I didn't think it would be like, because that feels like a lot. 24 is a lot of points to score as well, but 41 feels like a lot. I thought it would be a bit more of a battle. Unless those I haven't seen the game, so at least those tries came sort of later in that game. But Whanganui Collegiate have had like a really good preseason, and I thought maybe they're just getting out of that preseason mode, putting everything together properly. But yeah, I think I don't know. I was kind of surprised at that. Lindisfarne College is the one that I would watch because they are sneaky good, they are sneaky young, and I have a feeling they're going to make the top 4 for the CNI competition. They beat Wesley 29-25. They lost to St. Paul's last week with a few guys out who were part of this theatre performance, which is the stuff that you have to do when you're at school. And I feel like if they were at that game, they would have beaten St. Paul's. I feel like they would have beaten St. Paul's because the guys that they had sitting out were pretty important. They're pretty important players. No, they're not pretty important. They're important players. And when I saw Lindisfarne at the quad and saw the players that they had and how young they were, they are going to be a team to watch. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how they go. Like I said, Taupo Nuiatea beat Papamoa. That was 41-19. Another one of those scores that should have been like, but I wish that they were just in the first 15 competition where they would just play first 15s. Mount Maunganui College beat Trident 31-7. Otago College lost to Whakatane 26-19. Those grading games in Wellington is just a big one, man. Kapiti beat Bishop Via, which was surprising to me. I thought Bishop Via would win that one. Aotea beating Mahurangi College 55-12. That was like one. I think St. Pat's Town got a bit pissed off, so they beat Porirua College by a massive amount. Porirua College, man, they got some players, man. They got some players, and I wish P-Town just came together and said, let's just make a combined team. Let's get our guys out there and get them seen, because I said this last week, where small teams, you're not going to get noticed if your team gets smashed all the time, and then your best players on your team that belong in that bracket with everybody else in your region that are really good, they're just not going to look at them, because they look at the score and they go, oh, he's part of that team. It's like, yeah, but it's not a fair comparison. Rongotai beat Taita College 36-12. St. Bernard's College only beat Hutt Valley 14-10. If there's anyone from St. Bernard's out there, can you send me the game so I can watch this game? Because I kind of think that it should have been a bigger score. I don't know if you rested a bunch of guys. Maybe I'll look at the roster again, but yeah, I thought it would be a bit more. Christ College is sneaky good, man. Like, they came back from Japan. They must have been pretty prepared, because they put up a big number on Timaru, 59-12. And that's, that's a big one. That's a big score. Rangiora High School beat Horomaka Combined. Rangiora High School too. They should probably be in the top in the Master Premiership or Championship? No, Premiership. I think it is. That's the top one. They should be up there. They have a really good team down there. They have a really good team. Kings and John McGlashan, tie 13-all. Says a lot about those two schools and then the programs that they're putting together. Another game that I wish that we could go and see, that we give access to see. Menzies College down in Invercargill, I think, or Menzies anyway, beating St. Kevin's College 53-15. And Menzies is one of those colleges. They're combined with other little ones around, but Menzies College itself, they've had players in the past that were really good Highlander under 18 kind of players, but they're stuck in that situation where no one's going to really look at them, because they just go, oh, but you're from that school, they're too small, you guys don't play anybody, you're not really tested, we guys play guys that we don't really recognize as good teams and all that kind of stuff. But beating someone like St. Kevin's 53-15, I think Menzies is going to upset a few teams, or really come close to upsetting some teams. And it's going to be interesting to watch. Yeah. But anyways, we've got rankings changing today for the teams. We've got the Year 12 rankings changing tomorrow, and then on Wednesday we've got the top 200 rankings changing with a new number one player, and a lot of shuffling of players. Players dropping out, new players coming in, because we've got now 2 or 3 weeks of games that I've been able to see. Heaps of schools that I've already seen, because people are giving me huddle, letting me see their huddles and videos and stuff like that, and sending me YouTube games that are private just to their followers, and they'll send me a thing. And remember, I don't show people this. I don't even clip your guys' games and put out highlights or anything like that. I keep it all to myself, so don't think that I'm giving these to other schools or anything like that. I'm not. I wouldn't misuse your guys' trust like that. And it's all just for me to do homework on players, so I can start promoting more schools and stuff like that. On Wednesday also my team of the week comes out with all the games that I see of schools and players. I'm up to 8 games that I've seen this week, which means that's like 16 teams. But it's 8 games that I've seen on video or on Huddle or YouTube or VO, whatever. And then I went to 3 games this week, and so I'm up to 13 games, something like that, or 12 games, 11 games, whatever. But yeah, thank you for listening, thank you for coming back, come back again, love you heaps, later ball.